ahead.
All right, how do I want to start this?
What is up, you guys?
Hey guys, in anticipation of starting a new road trip series where I post a bunch of road trips I've been on in the past year or two, and also the road trips that I have planned going forward, I just wanted to do a little walk around video on my car and show you guys what's up. This is my 2006 4th Gen 4Runner. It is a V8 and it also has full-time four-wheel drive. Big fan of that. I picked this car for a couple of reasons. The first one being reliability. My last car was not reliable at all. I still managed to keep that thing for 8 years, which is kind of crazy. It also has a lot of aftermarket support, being a Toyota and being like an older model of a 4Runner. There's just so much you can do with it. I just wanted to kind of show you guys what I've done to it so that when you guys are watching the road trip series and the related videos, you can kind of understand a little bit about the car that got me at all those places. So after I bought this car, one of the first things I put on it was this winch. This is a Harbor Freight winch. I know, Harbor Freight, it's cheaper, whatever. But a lot of people like the Badland winch. It is on an LFD hidden winch mount, and that comes right through the bumper cover. So it's hidden and it's low profile, and I keep the stock front end. The reason I got the hidden winch mount and the winch was just so I'd have a little bit more like security when I was out exploring on my own, not having to worry about getting stuck. So I put the car in storage for a little bit, and then once I sold my other car, brought this one back out, and the next thing I did was a lift. So I've got a Bilstein 5100 lift on here. It's supposed to be like a 2.5, 3-inch lift. Ended up being a little bit more just because all the suspension components were super worn out. It is on the bottom setting. You can kind of jack it up and make it even taller. I just wanted the highest performance suspension I could get with the product. Then a little bit later on, my buddy Ben, he works at Discount Tire, he hooked me up with these 255 by 80 R17 tires. These are a 33.3-inch tire. I went with the Nito Ridge Grapplers because my brother had them and he loved them. And then these are on some wheels that I picked up in Georgia on a road trip for really cheap. I love these wheels. You could only get them on the first few years of the 5th Gen 4Runner, and then they kind of got rid of the package that was associated with them and never really sold them again. All right, now I have to think about what I did after that. Oh, okay, I know. All right, so the next thing that I did was these Diode Dynamic SS3 Pros. It's just an amber fog light that wires right into the normal fog light harness. So I can use the same switch, I can use it with my headlights, and then that was right before I replaced my headlights. Nothing special here. Right after I did the fog lights, I actually bought this WeBoost Overland cell booster. It does actually help a bit. Even on my street where I don't get a whole lot of cell service, it'll give me a couple extra bars. This thing was a lot of help when we went up north for the Keweenaw trip. Cell service and GPS use different satellites, and the GPS satellites are usually a little bit better with coverage. So this thing kept our maps going the whole time. We were able to see where we were on the trails. Even if pictures wouldn't load or anything like that, we could tell where we were and we could get some messages back and forth. Not really pictures or videos though. So during that trip to North Carolina, the second trip down there, we took a lot of supplies, and we had a whole Thule container on the top. The whole back end was filled to the point where we weren't able to sleep in the vehicle until we emptied everything out. So I bought this Prinsu roof rack and just kind of ran it bare for a little while. Now I've got these two Plano cases up here. So these are actually rifle cases off of Amazon. I already had one, so I figured I'd buy a second one and have matching stuff up there. In some of my videos and pictures, you'll see I've got like kind of a taller green Harbor Freight case on the front. And one of those is used for like a camp kitchen. I'll keep like dehydrated food in there, cooking utensils, propane, dry gas for the jet boil. And then the other one usually on this side is a diesel heater, and I'll drape the heat hose through the sunroof and I can heat the whole cabin while we're sleeping. And I'm able to sleep 2 guys comfortably in here, probably 3 uncomfortably. So most recently, my friend Jonah and I, mostly Jonah, welded up this coastal off-road rear swing out bumper. This is all steel, it's 3/16 of an inch, very thick stuff. And I've got some moose knuckle off-road split shackles on the back. This thing is kind of more for protection from other drivers. I've always been really paranoid someone would rear end me, And it was just a bonus. I was able to get my full-size spare tire out from underneath the car. I actually pinched a nerve in my back when I was installing this the first time. I was under the car trying to bench press it up into that stock location. Oh my gosh, it was terrible. Anyways, that's what we've got here. Then I'm sure if you have Instagram and you're into cars, you've probably seen the Wolf Box rear view camera. I've got one of those on here. So this thing has 2 factors of retention. So you got this thing, and then back here, you've got the safety pin. Swings right on out, and you could still open the hatch.
Nice.
So the thing about these 4th gen 4Runners is a lot of them have this little cargo shelf, and you can lift this up and push it back, and you've got like a second platform. So underneath this, I've run a bunch of wires, and one of those wires is for my Jackery camp battery thing. It's actually right there, and that allows me to always have it at 100%. So I use that battery to power things like the diesel heater. I've also used it to power the Wii Boost if I need to like work in the car or the car's turned off and I'm trying to get a message out. So that's kind of cool. It's got like a normal outlet, it's got a cigarette lighter, and it's got a bunch of USB things. And I just keep it topped up so that whenever I need it, it's good. That way, if I lose power at home, I can also take it inside and run whatever I need. This was actually a Christmas present. I thought it was dumb at first. It is a very small mini fridge. You can fit probably about 6 cans of pop in here. And now I've got a single blue Gatorade. And it's got a switch on it, so I can power it whenever I want, and I can keep some food cold. The intention is to be able to cool down food and keep it, you know, cold while I'm driving, and then have ice in there so that overnight it doesn't melt or go rotten or anything. So in order to keep that powered as long as the car is running, and when the Jackery is in use, I installed some more cigarette outlets. This is also one of the more recent mods I've done. This side is cigarette outlet. This side is 2 different USB power things. I actually had to add a fuse and run this wire all the way down. It's kind of zip tied to something right now because I need to drill it into the side of the plastic on the car. That lets me kind of power more stuff. When I'm in travel mode, I'll fold down these 2 seats, and you can actually take off the bottoms of the seat too, and you can lay down 2 like 6-foot tall guys. I'm obviously not one of those, but if you needed to, you could. You could have 2 people sleeping side by side. I sleep on one side, my brother sleeps on the other, and like we have enough room, I guess, to sleep comfortably. We've done that a few times. Where'd your other boot go?
It's all the way over there. Look at me the camera. It's all the way over there. I'm over here.
So for the Wii Boost wiring for the antenna, took this idea from Chase and Point. This wire actually goes through the door seal, the hatch seal. I drilled a little hole and I was just kind of stretching it, putting the thing through, whole thing ripped, so I had to tape it back up. It's still watertight though. What's going on? So, on the same theme of having more power in the vehicle, I installed this little thing. Toyotas from this era, they have a lot of these little poverty buttons, and you can pull this trim out and poke your finger through it and pop a new switch in. So this is one of those, lets me charge stuff with the Type-C or a normal USB. Right now I've got my MacBook plugged in and charging. So if I needed to, I could work from here without needing to like go and get electricity from somewhere else. On my last trip, I actually used it to keep my drone batteries topped off. And that worked pretty well because you're driving a lot more than you're flying. All right, so right before winter in Michigan, I realized I really needed a traction control switch. The reason for that is because the 2006 and lower versions of this car didn't have one. So there's like 3 or 4 years I didn't have one. If you wire this in though, you can still effectively have a traction control switch. So I use that if I'm going off-road or if I'm trying to go up my driveway in the middle of winter or on my street where they didn't plow once all winter, it comes in handy for a lot of that sort of stuff. Like if the road's really wet and slick or whatever. It's kind of a pain because in order to turn it off, I actually have to turn the car off and back on, but it works when I need it. And the car also turns back on every time. So when I ordered the Coastal Off-Road bumper, they have options for body mounts. And I decided I'm gonna order it for 1-inch body mount. That'll push me to throw a body mount on there and like, I'll get it done so fast. Anyways, got a 1-inch body mount on here. One of the nicest things about it is the body sits an inch taller than the frame. So the frame gets a lot more water on it when you are washing it, which kind of helps rust not be a thing. It also makes the car a whole inch taller, and I kind of thought that was cool. I didn't really want to change up my suspension to get another inch of body clearance. You know, it doesn't add ground clearance, it just kind of protects the body a little bit more from stuff that might be on the road. Remember I said the first thing I did was the winch and all that? That is true. Second thing I did, forgot about this the first recording around, I put some slotted rotors on there and I put some ceramic brakes on. Ceramic brakes from AutoZone so I could replace them for free for the life of the vehicle, whatever. Slotted rotors, a lot of people don't like them. A lot of people think that's gonna catch dust, that's gonna catch rocks, it's gonna be awful. Your stuff's gonna wear out faster. I've got like 25,000 miles on this and you know, I like it because once the brakes warm up, I could stop really, really fast. And especially with a heavier vehicle that originally had underpowered brakes and with all the added weight that I put on the vehicle, the brakes are just kind of like a nice thing to have. And yeah, don't skimp out on your brakes because they're a little bit important. So yeah, that is my 4Runner build. It's very, I want to say humble. Other people think it's the sickest thing ever. I do really love this car. Out of all the cars I've had or driven, it's probably my favorite. And it's taken me some cool places. Only real issue I had was having to replace the brake calipers, which are a known issue on this thing. So my goal in this video is to show you guys what I did to this car to get me to where I want to go reliably, allow me to camp or hang out there however long I need to be there comfortably, and also stay connected so I can work remotely and even allow me to power my laptop and other photography devices.